You know what? I kind of want to talk about OC. Here's my first problem. Why did they take away the queue? I feel like that they should have kept the queue. The queue was very good. I want to start off by saying that I think Bozja was a significant upgrade in almost every single way. Bozja was the best of these exploration zones in my opinion. It had 1v1s, it had the queue to critical engagements. They removed queue to stop people AFKing from CEs and make them do fates. I mean, I don't know. If they wanted to do that, instead of removing the queue, there could have been an incentive. They could have gave you an incentive to actually kill the monsters. The quality of critical engagement, I feel, is very good. It's very good in this one. But there's no queue and there's no 1v1, so it's just a straight downgrade. We're going to talk about all the bad stuff first and get it out of the way. Probably the biggest and huge downgrade is Fork Tower. Fork Tower, the accessibility is absolute god-awful, and I don't know why they took 2 steps back. Okay, it's even worse than BA. Okay, so BA was bad. BA was really bad because, you had people stealing portals and it was it was just really shit. It was really inaccessible for some people. And there was no reason for that. There was no reason. BA was pretty cool content, but getting in there was fucking horrible. And I feel like everyone would agree, or okay, not everyone, but a majority of people would agree that DRS being a queue was much better than this fucking garbage that we have now. There might be people that actually like it more, but I think those people are dumb. So DRS queue was just vastly superior in every way, man. It was so good. It was so fucking good. Fork Tower is an amazing instance, okay? I really feel like Fork Tower is an amazing instance. But the problem is getting into it is a fucking complete buzzkill. It's really bad. And it's actually worse than BA. And the reason why it's worse than BA is because... Oh, Jesus. Is because in BA, yeah, you had to queue up with portals, but once you got your portal, you were done. Whereas this, you can put in a cipher and still get cucked, if that makes sense. So in this, you have to put in a cipher and then stand on the pad. But the problem is you only need 16 people to put in the cipher. So once 16 people put in the cipher, you don't technically need to put in a cipher. Now, let's say that you do for safety. Because the only thing you need to do to get into the instance is stand on the pad. Once you stand on the pad, you're going to take priority over the other people as long as you put in a cipher. The thing is that let's say that some random also puts in a cipher. Okay. Well, then that means that you no longer have priority. Now you're fighting for a spot with them. And that's a problem. That's a... It's right here, right? Okay. All right. So anyway. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Wait. Whoa. Okay, this is it. This is it. Does he get it? Does he get... No! Fuck! Dude, this is so... Okay. You know what? We're moving on. We're fucking moving on. Okay, here is another problem I have with this fucking shit, is the fact that the job stones are a random drop. They're a random fucking drop. You should be able to get these fucking sub-jobs without having, being at the mercy of RNG. That's the fucking problem with this shit place, okay? There's way too much RNG. It's already grindy enough. Okay, it's already grindy enough. But when you add in layers of RNG, it makes it even worse. So I have been playing nonstop this fucking content. I have killed that fate tons of times, and I still don't have the fucking Oracle Jobstone. And there's literally nothing I can do to speed up the process. There's nothing I can do. Sometimes you get dude, I have gotten, okay, I didn't get the Berserker one until way late. I got 7 fucking Ranger ones. There should be a pity system, right? You should be able to turn in X amount of other ones to pick the one that you need. So yes, for those of you that are, okay, let me ask you a question in chat. How many people in chat right now have been trying to get a specific jobstone or sub job and they just can't get it? Because I have. I don't need Ranger, but I've gotten 5 Rangers or 7 Rangers or some shit. Okay. And you can't trade them either. So I feel like that it should either be you can trade them or you can like turn them in. There should be some type of pity system. Okay. Now, talking about the RNG. Okay. So look, if you look at my chess piece, it's +2. Okay. But to get the +2, you have to get these. These are Aether Spun Gold. Now, those, to my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, but to my knowledge, you can only get them out of silver chest. And, well, I guess you can get bronze chest too, but the drop rate's really, really fucking low. I think that that's also really cringe. Like, basically, you're adding RNG to a grindy portion of the game, which is really fucking bad. It's bad, man. It's really bad. Like, if you're going to have a grind, sure. If you're going to have RNG, I don't like RNG, but sure. But you should not have both, okay? If you're going to have a grind, have a pity system, okay? If you're going to have RNG, have a pity system. No, you can't buy those with silver. You can buy the silver spun with silver, but not the gold. Yeah, so let's talk about the RNG of this. The RNG in here is really bad. Okay, I'll be honest. The saving grace of this entire area, okay? Because honestly, man, the more that I do this area, it's a downgrade in every single way from Bozja. This area is actually not very good. Okay, in my opinion, this area kind of sucks. Like, how you acquire gear is shitty, the rewards are shitty, the RNG is shitty, it's very repetitive. The saving grace of this, okay? The saving grace of this is the sub jobs. This right here makes all of those bad things tolerable, okay? In my opinion. Because if you compare this zone to like Bozja, for example, it's a downgrade in every way. Okay, well, almost every way. The only thing I didn't particularly like about Bozja, I didn't like how you had to constantly rebuy the lost actions. So the sub-job system is way better than that. I mean, I think Bozja was very different, actually. Bozja was very different. It had the same core activities, but the accessibility and extra features it had was vastly superior. It also wasn't heavy on RNG. I also thought it was extremely lazy of them to say that, oh, there's extra rewards in this one, and all they did was put in like fucking Bozja shit. Or I mean, like Pago stuff. Let's say, for instance, that the sub jobs didn't exist, and you had like some stupid elemental wheel or something, like in Eureka. I think this area would be absolute shit tier, and I wouldn't be in here. I would have cleared Fork Tower once and then been done with this place. But because the jobs are so fun, it's like kind of the saving grace. I also think Fork Tower is amazing. I'm a big fan of Fork Tower. I think it was designed very well. But the thing that it kind of like disappoints me, man, is that it's not going to be accessible for some people. It's just not. And I really hate it when they lock really fun content like that, man. Because like not everybody is going to want to do this shit. Not everyone is going to want to slog through like 20 fucking levels. You know what I mean? Now you could argue, well, it's part of the content, so it needs to be in there. That's a valid argument. And I agree to a certain extent. But I think that it should be met halfway. And that halfway should be a queue. You should be able to queue into Fork Tower once it becomes accessible. There's no reason. Like, I want to know the reason. What benefit, right, does this game have from not being able to queue into it? Like, I want to know the benefit. Because all it does is make the player base hate each other. That's all it does. Because just wait until another month or so when more people are clearing the tower. There's going to be more farm groups. Because to my knowledge right now, only 2 groups have cleared it. I mean, there's going to be a lot more, you know, in the future. There was probably more today, actually. Okay, so it's probably more than 2. So now that more people are clearing, you're going to have more people fighting over instances. You're going to have more people being toxic. All of the arguments between players regarding who gets to go in and shit, that is on Square. Okay? That's on Square Enix. So I don't understand why you would ever remove the queue. I can't fucking fathom it, man. I just can't. And I said all of this shit was going to happen. Like, I knew all of this shit was going to happen, man. Because it happened in BA. But now it's even worse. So the fact that they fucked it up again is just, I just can't fathom it. Like, how do you fuck up something that bad again? Like, not only did they fuck it up again in the same way, but they actually made it worse. That's just crazy to me, man. That's fucking crazy to me. Overall, I would rate this area like a 5 out of 10 probably, at best. It's actually pretty shit. They have a lot of shit systems that they should know better. And that's the point here, is that Occult Crescent is held to a higher standard. Okay? It's held to a higher standard than the previous ones. And the reason why is because this is a repeat of what they've done in the past. So because it's a repeat of what they've done in the past, they should know better. Like, every time that they implement this type of content, it should be better or at least as good as the last best implementation. Does that make sense? There's no reason. Like, it's just unacceptable that it's not. And the treasure chest system in this is unacceptable. It's fucking cringe. The fact that there's no duels. Why isn't there any duels? And, okay, why the fuck can't you level in here? Like, why can't you level? It doesn't make any sense why you can't level. You should be able to level. And why is this gear so garbage? Okay, so I'm going to suggest an idea to you guys. And I want you to... Oh, Jesus. At least hit it once. At least hit it once. No! Okay. I'm going to suggest an idea to you guys, okay? Let's pretend for a second that I get to design a part of this. There's an experience earring that you get at the beginning of like each expansion. That earring will level with you. Okay, so what it does is instead of giving you stats, it gives you like a percentage of your main stat. So it syncs with you as you level. All right. So my question here is, this type of content is supposed to be for a lot of different players. Okay. It's supposed to be for like relatively new players that just hit level 100. It's supposed to be for returning players. So what they should have done is they should have, one, made this content accessible at level 90. All right. So you can come in here at level 90 and you can level up. Now, as you level up, you can get the gear. This gear, yo, you guys ever notice this, man? Look at this, dude. It's called Fatal Allure, and it's next to a dick and balls, dude. There's no way that this isn't either a dick and balls or a bulge in thighs. Okay, it's one or the other. All right? Anyway, the gear should have been level 90 gear, okay? Because you're never using this gear outside of Bozja. Like, you're just not. You know what I mean? The materia on it doesn't even matter. This gear should have been level 90, and it should have scaled with you as you leveled. So as you level in this place, the gear you get in here is good for outside of this place. Like, does that make sense? So that way, like, let's say you're a newer player. You can come into this place and you can grind, you can do the fates, you can level, and you can also get gear that scales with you outside of this place, and it should scale with you up until level 100. So that way that you can use the gear, like let's say you're trying to do Fort Tower. So this gear is still going to be the best for here, but it also works outside of here, and it works if you're leveling. It's just very strange to me that they chose to make it item level 745. That's very, very weird to me, man. I guess it's like slightly better than crafted. Maybe not, because crafted you can pentameld. Maybe, I'm not sure. But my point is that, man, like, even if you could, why the fuck would you even use this? Like, it's going to take you so long to get a full set. And you can upgrade the crafted, yeah. So you can even upgrade the crafted. So my point is that 745 item level is very, very weird. And I feel like they didn't think about this. When it's +2, the gear is nearly comparable to current BIS. No, it's not. It's not at all. You do understand that, like, the occult effect doesn't work outside of here, right? It's literally just a dead 745 piece. Even at +2. There's no stat change. And here's another thing. So here's the relic. It's also 745. But why? Like, wouldn't it have been cool? Wouldn't it have been cool if this was like a 700 weapon so that you could use it in here? I mean, you basically get it in here anyway. Why couldn't it be a 700 weapon that you can use in here? So let's say, well, what if I want to use the relic outside of here? Well, the problem with that is that you could just get like the primal weapon, yeah? Or you could just get a fucking crafted weapon. Like, they put in this gear that's like worthless outside of this place, and you don't even need like a lot of the gear, if very much at all, because your mastery level is going to carry your damage like so hard it's not even funny, man. And also the skills from the jobs. So what they should have done with the relic is they should have made it to where the relic was best in here. And how could they have done that? Well, what they could have done was, you see how this has materia? They could have just took off the materia and added extra secondaries. Because then, even though it scales, since it doesn't have materia, you would be able to use those secondaries, right? So there's another mistake that I feel like Basically, my whole point to this is that there is a lot of shit that's implemented that is completely worthless. That'd be way too strong for old content, but who cares? It wouldn't be any stronger than if it was like than it was in previous relics. Yeah, I mean, that's my point, is like in previous relic steps, it was exactly that. It was exactly like my suggestion. So it's not even like it would be anything new, because back in like Pyros, you could actually customize the stats, which was better. So what I'm suggesting is that they just go back to Bozja. That's all I'm suggesting, which is what they should do. The fact that they didn't just copy paste Bozja is fucking crazy to me. Like, what? Like, you already had such an amazing zone. Why would you change things and change them for the worst? Don't get me wrong, guys. I still think that this area is awesome. I love this area. Don't get me wrong, but this area has problems. One of the biggest problems, you know, or whatever, is the fact that it's just a downgrade in a lot of ways. Like, people always complain that Bozja didn't look very pretty, and that's fine. You're entitled to that opinion, yes, but that's not the important part. The important part isn't the aesthetic of a zone. The important part is how it functions, its systems, how accessible is it, what's the replayability, how fun is it. That's the important part, in my opinion. Square Enix needs to understand that they goofed, because the next zone needs to be better. They need to, one, remove the RNG elements, or they need to implement a pity system. And by pity system, I mean they need to implement, after so many attempts of trying something, you just get it automatically. Because you should not be indefinitely punished, okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is they need to put in a queue for Fork Tower. The dungeon needs to have a queue. They need to bring back 1v1s. Now, I personally don't really care about 1v1s, but I know a lot of people liked them, okay? They need to bring them back. And I guess finally, what they need to do is they need to allow leveling in here. The fact that you can't level in here is like, actually, it's like fucking giga cringe, actually. There's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be able to level in this zone. Like, no reason whatsoever, man. Leveling in this zone is going to just naturally make it like way more populated. It's just going to make it much, much better. Now, with all that being said, right, like, let's talk about the good things. Because, you know, at the start of this, I wanted to be sure to state that I actually really, really like the content. Like, this is my favorite of the zones, or it's at least tied with Bozja, okay? It's at least tied with Bozja. The saving grace of this entire zone is the sub-job system, man. Like, the sub-jobs, I thought I was going to like the sub-jobs, but I didn't think I was going to love the sub-jobs, okay? Like, after playing this and having the sub-jobs, I don't want to say that the game, the base game or whatever, is like bad, because it's not bad. But over time, it just got kind of, I guess, samey. And kind of samey isn't like necessarily bad. It can be good. But the problem is, when you have so much fun shit like these sub-jobs, you start to like think about it, okay? Now, hopefully, and what I'm thinking, and probably some of you have also had this thought, is that they implemented all this stupid shit in the sub-job system because they're trying to like test shit for 8.0 to a certain extent. Like, obviously not everything, right? But I'm sure they had some ideas in 8.0 that maybe they weren't sure if they could implement, that they probably stuck in here as just like, you know, fuck it, let's try it, you know, kind of thing. So hopefully that's the case. But I'm going to tell you this, man. Some of these sub-jobs just completely change the way you play certain jobs. So, like, I'll give you an example. Like, when I play Warrior with Berserker, that interaction is, like, insane skill intensity, man. It, like, reactivated a part of my brain that I haven't had since, like, fucking 3.1 Warrior, okay? Being able to hit for, like, over 2 million damage, you know, is just fucking awesome. Now, I understand that you can't have, like, that something in, like, the base game, right? I understand that. And I'm not saying that they should put that in there, but I'm saying the interactions. Basically, to be able to do that, you have to basically balance 3 different skills. You have to balance Rage, Deadly Blow, and Holmgang. Being able to balance those skills and hit that high, it is insanely rewarding for how much you have to balance it, how much you have to plan it out. And that's what I like about it. It's not necessarily the huge damage hit. I mean, Yes, that's part of it. But the part that I like about it the most is the fact that you have to plan Holmgang with Deadly Blow and a Rage. I really, really like that. Now, I'm not saying that they should put that exact iteration in the game. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the concept of that. The concept of that, which they used to have that concept back in the day, and over time they lost it because they wanted to homogenize stuff. And to a certain extent, that's fine. But over time, it just becomes too samey, too stale. Okay? So this content is like very, very fun for me because you can think outside the box. That is the saving grace of this entire area, in my opinion, is the interaction between the jobs and the sub-jobs. For instance, like a warrior berserker is going to be vastly different than like a gunbreaker berserker, for instance, right? You're not going to take berserker on gunbreaker because you can't abuse the deadly blow. You know what I mean? But what Gunbreaker can take is like, I don't know, fucking samurai or some shit. It's going to like utilize it in a different way. Yeah, see, so it's like really cool, right? You have like these insane numbers. Now look, now obviously you're going to have some balance to this, right? Like you're not just going to like go in there and just be able to do all that shit, you know, in like a normal raid and stuff. And I'm not saying that you should. Another good thing, man, is the aesthetic to this place. I'm a huge fan of the aesthetic. I really, really, really like all of the areas that you go to. I think that the zone looks really fucking cool. But yeah, man, Fork Tower is really fun. I don't think I'm going to try for the 100 kills. That's another thing. I feel like that it should only be 10. I feel like 100 is way too much. I don't know about you guys. If you would have been able to queue into this, I feel like 100, it still would have been a lot, but it wouldn't have been as obnoxious. I will say this, though. I think that the DPS check, when you go in with less people, is much lenient. However, the mechanics become harder because you have less people to fuck up. I think that people should, if they're trying to clear, I think you should originally go in with 48 people. Fork Tower is scaled for 24 people. Every mechanic in there is designed for 24 people, not 48. Will this content get easier when the next zone comes out? Probably, I would imagine. Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you this, and it's going to sound toxic, but it is what it is. I'm going to tell you this. If you're trying to clear this and you get a sniper and they go in, if they die, you leave them dead because one person can kill your entire party. Now, you guys can obviously do whatever the fuck you want. Like, I don't care what you do, okay? I don't care. But I'm telling you right now that if you take a chance on them and they don't know what the fuck they're doing, they will kill you. Or there's a chance that they're going to kill you. So it's completely up to you if you want to gamble on that. But considering how long it takes to fucking get in there and how tedious and annoying it is, well, see, the thing is like during the first boss drop a tank buster, see, that's the thing, man. You can't be malicious when you do it. It's a give and take because like they could technically report you for that. The thing is, man, is that you can't be mad at them for joining. They're just playing the game as the way it's intended, right? Like, even if you have a pre-made, you don't own this instance. Those snipers have every right to the Fork Tower as you do. You can't argue that. They do because Square Enix says they do. That's how they plan to play the game. Now, there are going to be some players that think that just because I'm in a static or a pre-made that I have a right to this, and they're wrong. They're wrong. However, what you can do to protect your run is when they die, you just don't res them. They are entitled to go into the tower, but they are not entitled to a res, if that makes sense. Sometimes you'll just get a person that's just, you know, fucking curious about the content. You know, like we actually got one of those in our runs when we were trying to clear. And those people, man, they're not doing anything wrong, which is why I say that if someone snipes your queue, you can't be mad at them because that's Square Enix's fault. Because of the way it's designed, man, it's unfortunate. And I feel like it's going to turn the player base against each other. So like for whatever reason, man, JP has this like dumbass mentality, man, of like, I don't know, like mutual respect or some shit. JP never thinks outside of JP mentality. That's the problem. Just based on the shit that they put in this fucking game. So like over in JP, man, it's like a fucking courtesy system or some shit. Or it's like, oh, you know, you were going to queue. Okay, I won't queue. Well, let me tell you something, brother, because over here on the NA and the EU, we don't give a fuck. Okay, we don't give a fuck. We'll give a flying fuck. Okay, you're pre-made? Cool, you got to deal with me because I just put in 15 ciphers. You got 15 ciphers? No, I didn't think you did. I didn't think you did because, you know, the whole time while you've been progging this shit, I've been out here grinding. I've got like 20,000 fucking gold and I just dumped all my gold into ciphers. I'm getting into this fucking instance. Okay? And you have to deal with that. That's something you have to deal with. Lucrezia had sniper issues as well. I mean, I imagine. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, more times than not, you know, like JP is a little bit more respectful to each other than, I mean, at least to their face, right? Like, I'm not saying JP players are always nice all the time. I'm just saying, like, it's more like customary over there or some shit, you know? But basically, like, they should have just put it to a queue. You know what? I hope I'm wrong. All right? I hope I'm wrong. I just don't think I'm going to be, because it was like that in BA. You had salty ass people. Don't even get me started on the fucking meteor shit. You guys remember during Osmo when you'd have this random guy kill like an entire group with a meteor and then they get sucked out with black hole? Do you know how salt inducing that is? They should really fucking add a queue. You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about this? They literally just put a 48 man in. Or whatever, sorry, a 24 man. They literally just put like a fucking 24 man. Why the fuck couldn't they just put a queue?